The Dark Tent by Gregory O'Brien, and that's supposed to be that's James K. Baxter, and that's actually Taranaki, Mount Taranaki, is the way he saw it. But when I looked at it, I actually didn't realise it was a mountain at all, and I actually thought it was like Baxter inside a womb, and this was like the birth canal, and he was going to be born into the world, and that's still the way I see the painting. Right. I don't see it. I see it as a So this is a Popocatépetl, a sort of nonsense rhyming poem based on the word Popocatépetl, which I really like. We'd joined the lines of truth and prattle, sense and nonsense, Hansel, Gretel, rhyme and rhythm, hand and rattle, and up popped Popocatépetl. Pop said it's our choicest chattel, Ma said pop it in the kettle, all that unstopped glottal scattle unsettle Popocatépetl. Farmers lopping sheep and cattle, skinned knees daubed with purple Dettol, prime cuts primed for prime beef battle, chucked off of Popocatépetl. Lost causes without a rebel, vital damage pocked collateral, the bass clef might become the treble and topple Popocatépetl. Pansies, daisies, bluebells, wattles, fingers stung by stinging nettles, peaches, pears and plums in bottles, ill got on Popocatépetl. So we headed for the chapel, all of us were in fine fettle, all were chancing tittle-tattle on brittle Popocatépetl. Voices rose to heed the steeple, volcanic fissures leaked red petals, discombobulated people flop-flipped on Popocatépetl. Threads were starting to unravel, the LSO played heavy metal, flat earth folk not on the level belittled Popocatépetl. The peak was running out of petrol, the setting sun refused to settle, the crying of a dying petrel swung low o'er Popocatépetl. If you Google, then the web'll throw up fatal endings et al. Go well, bubble, bird or pebble, be free of Popocatépetl. Song of the Rising. Shells in the soil, oil in the sand. This tells us, say the scientists, that the sea once covered the land. It is millions of years since I last held your hand. The city shines like sunken treasure. I could never be a writer. I could never be a sailor. There's too much imagination in the water's weathered mirror. Your curves incline the hilltop where no multitudes have fled. The soft wind takes my hand. The soft wind shakes my head. Anyway, University Open Day. So the speaker in this poem is a sort of, about a kind of a 17-year-old, someone who's, in their last year of school, who's going along to the Open Day, who's a prospective student. So I worked quite hard on the voice, on getting that kind of, not quite an adult voice, but not a child's voice either. Yeah. University Open Day. English was the uncoolest. Awkward people reading Shakespeare in a room. We got trapped but managed to get out before the poetry started. Food tech was okay, with fresh bread dyed to look mouldy, and bright blue juice that it was easy to guess was lemon. You could buy cans of air too. There was a long queue at chemistry because you got to make potions. One of the whitecoats came rushing out in a real lather. Psychology had us reading a short paragraph describing Mr. Smith, then answering questions about his personality. Opinions divided neatly. The trick turned out to be a single word. Some paragraphs described Mr. Smith as warm, others as cold. The psychologists beamed cleverly. Applied common sense, snorted a man wearing a microbiologists are little buggers t-shirt. Outside, padded eggs were being dropped from a rooftop. Engineering. People kept saying vet was best. It had the cow with the glass panel. Actually, the panel wasn't that interesting, sort of dark and red. The cow was eating hay in a small concrete room. Mostly it just ate, but now and then it would look sadly round at everyone, and that's when I got to thinking about philosophy. The department wasn't easy to find. It turned out to be a single office down a badly lit corridor. A faded note on the door said, "Back in 10." And so my education began.